Okay, welcome back again. For this one, we're going to be going into flags and text areas. So, whenever you click on a flag here, we'll click on the flag 1 tab. Pickup delay is, once again, just kind of like no tag backs. Whenever you pick up the flag, how long after it's dropped can it be picked up again? So if you just immediately drop it, that'll keep somebody just from running in and grabbing it and running off with it. So 300 is just kind of a good general thing. That's what most zones use. Odds of appearing are obviously how good of a chance it actually has to appear whenever the game starts. The flags will only appear at game start time. 1,000 is 100% and 0 is never. And so 500 would be 50%. Minimum player count and maximum player count are really good ways to put only specific flags up at certain population amounts. So, like if you were to do, let's find one here that's 0. Okay, 0 minimum player count. That means it will always be there, no matter how many people are in there. And maximum, it will be there for up to 500 people in the arena. Now, if you only want certain flags to appear whenever there's 11 people in the arena, then you can put it there as 11, and then that flag will not be there after there's more than 20 people in the arena. It's like I said, it's a really handy way to have population control whenever it comes to flags. That way you only have a certain amount of flags up at certain population times. Flag carryable, 1 is yes and 0 is no. And this, if it's like an EO flag, you know how the resource points are where they're stationary and you only want them to capture them and then the flag will stay there, then that's a good way to use the 0. The drop radius is whenever the flag drops from the carrier, how big of an area that it will actually drop into. It's really just a good idea to leave that as 0, because having a big drop radius can kind of create a lot of problems. The drop delay, I'm not exactly sure on the time that this uses right here, but we have 2,000 as you can see right there, which actually comes out to be about 20 seconds whenever they actually hit the drop area. Flag owned when carried is if whenever a player picks a flag up, if the team actually gets credit for owning that flag whenever they pick it up. Transfer mode is whenever the player is killed, as you can see down here. 0 kill transfer, no friendly, which means whenever a player kills a flag carrying person, they receive the flag. 1 is kill transfer friendly, which is, I guess it'll go to one of your other teammates. 2, which is pretty much a general setting for all zones, is no kill transfer. The flag is just dropped and it'll return back to its original position. The flag graphic row is more related to the capture the CTF flag, because in the graphic it actually uses about like 5 or 6 different flag graphics that have like the red and the green and the blue and so on, and this will specify which row of that graphic that the flag actually represents. Drop delay reset is if whenever you're carrying the flag, if you kill somebody, kind of like in what is that, King of the Hill. If you kill somebody, then it'll reset your crown timer, and it'll do the same for the drop time. Flag owned when, I'm assuming that it's missing a word here, and I think it's flag owned when dropped. So if you successfully drop the timer, whether or not your team gets credit for having that. Turret group ID is if you wanted to make it so whenever your team picks up a flag, if there was a group of turrets and you wanted those linked, so if you were to pick up collective's flag, then the collective turrets would begin firing on the collectives. It's kind of like a giant switch. It'll flip all the turrets to your side if you own that flag. Flag relative ID, if you want it so whenever they pick up this particular flag, if you actually want it to own other flags whenever you pick this one up, then you would want to link the relative IDs to each other. Periodic rewards, you can actually set the timer for how often the reward is given in the configuration file. This is how many points that you'll give every so often, experience and cash so often. EOL uses a lot of these settings, but as far as skirmish and arcade zones, you really won't probably mess with those too much. Visibility is friendly, enemy, and unowned. Is if they can see the flag, whether on their radar while they're carrying it or whenever they click on the map itself, if they can see where the flag is at. As you can see here, friendly, enemy, and unknown can all see the flag at all times on pretty much everything. Um, Spectator flag visibility is if whenever somebody picks it up, if the spectator can see that person, or whenever the flag is just chilling there waiting for somebody to pick it up if they can see it. And as you can see here is the spectators can never see the flags. Skill logic is if you want to specify certain classes or class IDs to be able to pick up the flag. And this one right here is set so aliens cannot pick up the flag, but only Sarges can. So that's where you do that at. Second tab up here is pretty kind of like the rewards, except these are a little bit different. The radius, if you only want the carrier to get the reward, you would put it as -1, and if you wanted the players within a certain area to also get the award, you would increase that area just a little bit. You can make it so they heal while carrying the flag, if they regenerate energy while carrying the flag, if their vehicle is repaired while carrying the flag, or if they gain a certain shield percent. And the same thing down here on non-owner. That's just if anybody is within the area of the flag, so if it were to like radiate certain things. Flag line of sight is if you have to be able to see the flag carrier to actually see it on your map, or if they kind of disappear as you go around. For the most part, you could probably leave this to 0. It just kind of depends, once again, on your zone type. This is what kind of terrain types you can actually drop the flag onto. This is pretty much set within the map editor, where you actually lay down the different terrain types. As you can see here, where 1 is, that means you can actually drop it on terrain type 0, you can drop it on terrain type 3, and none of the rest. You'll also need to set these terrain types in the configuration file so you can actually be able to carry the flag onto. Okay, and that's pretty much all of the flags. And jumping right along, we'll go on to text. This is really simple, really simple. You can define where you want the text to appear by visually adding the chords like defined in the general. But you can select here the font color. Frequency is who can actually see it. -1 is, like it says, anybody. Or if you wanted only certain class types or frequencies to be able to do it, you would define it there. And then, quite simply, the message that you wanted. And you can see here, barracks, tight militis, long sentence, etc. You'd have the message right there. And you can have a lot of fun with these if you chose to. And that is a very quick explanation of the flags and text. I'm sorry about the really short times and moving along quickly, but YouTube's kind of gay and they only let you use 10-minute uploads. So there you have it.